Hi everyone, welcome to D4 Data Channel podcast on the topic AI Revolution in Scholarly Research. And I'm your host Deepak. With me, we have Miss Maha Amami. And Miss Maha has been working in this domain for quite some time as a researcher and as a data scientist in both academic and as well as industrial domain. And her research topic in PhD was around scientific paper recommendation, which is again going in the same line as what we are actually discussing today. So I'm really happy that Ms. Maha is there. He's here today with us in this particular podcast. So
Thanks.
welcome Maha to the
Thanks.
show.
Thanks for inviting me, Deepak. Thank you.
Great. So I have a few questions for you today. So
Okay.
my first question is on like what are the major research publishing tasks in which AI assistance is now used?
Yeah, I think that AI applications are used in the entire publishing workflow to support editor, author, institution, and lab in the whole publication process. Starting from the beginning of the creation of an article. When an author writes an article, he needs check grammar, and those tools are based on autocomplete system. For example, we can use autocomplete system to check all the error in the text. Also, in when a manuscript is submitted in a journal, an editor could use AI application to check if the article is out of scope. Also, there is also application for detection of fraud manipulation and plagiarism, and those application spot suspicious pattern to see if there is any data fabrication in the article by comparing the article to the repository or the database of million of articles. Also, there is a need for AI application to annotate this article which are in the repository, and by using by it's annotating them by keywords, and those keywords are going to enhance their SEO that are used by search engine. So it's helping in the process of dissemination of the article to get it accessible and increase its visibility to the other researcher. Also, when the article is published, there are some indicators that we are using to check for the quality of the article, like the citation count of the article, the H index of the author, or the impact factor of a journal, but those are quantitative as measure. But there are some platforms or some application based on AI which helps to measure qualitatively the quality of the article, and those are using sentiments on the citation. So there is a use of sentiment analysis on the article to check if there is critics on the article or an appreciation of it. So those, I think, the major AI application that we can see in the field of publishing and research.
Great, great. So my next question is on what are the popular AI tech stack which is being followed for it?
Exactly. I mean, in my science work, for example, the company I work in, we are using Elasticsearch, and a lot of publisher repository are used the same technology, because it's one of the advanced technology now to store documents and metadata in the field of research and scientific text. In their recent release, actually, Elasticsearch provided NLP techniques and also some method to use the Hugging Face models and importing them, and to check for to I mean to enhance the method in the search method in Elasticsearch. Also, there is a nice tool that is called Grobid, And Grobid is a machine learning library that has the function to extract, parse, and convert a file, mainly it's a PDF, to an XML document. So there is it's going to generate structured XML with all the tags. For example, you'll find in this XML the title, the tag title, the affiliation, the author, the content of the publication if we are generating full text. And this metadata, all the metadata and the content can be analyzed after and using them for annotating or for visualization. Also, in the data infrastructure, of course, there is Neo4j, and it's a graph database, and it's widely used to design the data in the research field, because we can imagine a graph in which there are the nodes, which are the researcher, the publication, also the concepts that are extracted from this publication, and also the relation between them. That could be an article is cited by an author, and we can access to this data by using a query language and manipulate this data very easily. Considering the algorithm that we are using, because of the importance of the context in this type of data, we are using now the transformers. So those algorithms have the capability to extract the context in which the entity is appeared, for example. And there are in Hugging Face, for example, there is Cybert, which is trained on scientific article from a semantic scholar website. And also there is BioBert, which is a transformer that is trained on biological articles. So there are I think the most used is Cybert, and on English corpus, but there are also some other transformers for other language, and they are applied and fine-tuned for tasks, for NLP tasks like named entity extraction, relation extraction, citation, intent classification. So I think those are the major tools that I am using actually in my work to develop AI application for research.
Thank you for that great information actually. So yeah,
Mhm.
that covers like a lot of tech stack which it's actually being prominent in today's AI space, basically, especially in the NLP.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we like in our company or in our space also we use something similar actually. Like
Exactly.
yeah. So my next question, so how well can we rely on AI in the research sector actually?
Okay, so regarding the task, because I mean the prediction now is very, I mean, it's high. The performance is high, but it's varying from the task of named entity extraction to the recommendation. Because in named entity extraction we can achieve result more than 90%. And I checked for, I mean, I used model from Spacy and other models. We developed also some models for biological entity extraction that are achieving really good result. And but in tasks like recommendation, there is still need to enhance the results. And yeah, it's really varying the performance of these models on each task is different. There is also, of course, the bias that is contained in the data, and we should check for using for using more transparent model in this task, because the user are willing to know how the AI model is functioning. So yeah, still there are some limitation about using these models, but with the integration of explainable model, I think it's going to be more fast to have the trust of the user in this type of models.
Okay, okay, great.
Mhm.
So, what is the impact of NLP applications on academic publishing?
Exactly. Okay. In publishing, actually, there is a trade-off between the speed of publishing and the quality output of the scientific text. So the publisher has a great role. I think the important role uh, to to check for the quality of the text, but also at the same time that there is an increase of the number of the article. It's actually counting 2 million per year, 2 million article per year. So the AI solution come to automate the publishing workflow in order to improve the editorial quality, to enhance also the author experience from the step of creation of the article, of writing the article, to the step of submitting it, and then to receive it as a publication. And also, for example, in the case of COVID, there is a lot of publication which are published, and the quality was very low. So a lot of people were submitting Kaggle competition to ask people to check if the information is not comment dire, is fake, or it contains error. So there is actually a need to establish those AI models to check for the quality of the information that is published. So yeah, I think this is the impact of using NLP techniques, which is to overcome the trade-off between the speed of the research and the quality of it.
Okay, okay, got it.
Mhm.
So, what are the main benefits for researchers and publishers once we are actually leveraging the true power of AI in the space?
So for researcher and publisher, for example, for researcher, it bridge the research work with other author. It can create community of researcher in which you can find researcher sharing their content to the other, finding experts of the domain, and collaborating with them. When creating actually a recommender system, the first thing that we do is to design the researcher profile, and then and the research profile can be the similarity of the content that he or she writes, and another research work that another author had worked on it. So those community can be used to create more advance in the same field, and have more um, data which is shared and open to all. And also there is a benefit for the publisher, because it's make it easier. AI application make it easier for the publisher to find the experts when when looking for a reviewer for a journal. And also in the whole publication process, also for annotating this, it helps them also for annotating the text, and give more information or semantic enrichment to the publication. I think, yeah, those are the main benefits for for researcher and publisher in from using the AI application.
So now I have a couple of implementation challenges with this particular process. So first of all, the research integrity and quality checks. So how good AI can actually aid in this particular step?
Yeah, actually, the quality in publishing should happen before and after, before the publication of the article and after it. Before publishing, when using AI application to detect plagiarism, and it's one of the most important role of an editor to check for the quality of the article. So a quality check system should be able to detect paraphrasing in the sentence, both monolingually and cross-lingually. So there is a use of translation system, and also using of similarity measure to detect similar idea, similar images, also tables and figures. And those systems, of course, are based on similarity calculation. And the good news is that AI application, I mean, similarity task in AI is one of the most high performance tasks. And with the use of language model, the AI-based plagiarism detection system become more effective. The quality check after publishing could happen not, as I said, by using the citation count or the H-index or the impact factor, but by using another indicator that is based on the aggregation of all the sentiment detected on a citation. So we can create models, like I said, based on cyber to detect the rate that an author give to an article using the sentiment, its critics, or its appreciation of the article. So those are the how we can check the integrity and the quality of an article using AI application.
Okay, okay, got it. So next question. So what are the different tools available to track down this checks basically?
Exactly. I think each publishing company try to develop its own models and its own tools based on their needs. There are some tools to check the quality of an article, like Authenticate, which is used in US by a lot of university, and it's but it's the problem that it's a little bit expensive. So in one of our webinar in my science work, there is Frontier, and they showed us a tool called ARIA, and this one is detecting intentional manipulated images and text, and they show us how it gives assistance to the editor by flagging all similar text and image, using, of course, AI models to the editor, and the editor can give feedback to their tool and help the model to enhance the learning. So I think there is like reinforcement learning system also inside this tool. And yeah, I mean, I think each publisher try try to develop based on its own need, and develop this and design these models.
Okay, okay, got it. So when you said about tools and platforms, so which are the top players offering services in this space, and like what is the market demand for these kind of tools basically?
So here there is the entire, I think, publication cycle, and you can see here in the creation of an article, in the writing of an article, the author will have will is going to need some autocomplete system to check the language to write the article. It's going to help him or her to write correctly the article, and then after there is the step of submission of the manuscript, and in this step the tool should extract all the metadata that is containing on the article, and check if there is the topic of the article is not out of scope. There is, for example, Polaris OS that is developed by my science work. Also, in companies, in publishing companies like Indawi, there is such tools. And then when the manuscript is submitted, checking for its topic, if it's fitted to the journal, there is the publisher or the editor is going to send it to reviewer. So in this step, there is the expert recommendation or peer reviewer recommendation to the editor, and there are two tools that we can cite here. There is SciScore and Penelope.ai. Then, when there is an acceptance of the article is going to be indexed, and as I said before, it's going to be annotated by extracted topics or concepts and put them as keyword to be used in the search engine. And here also Polaris OS can serve in this task. Also, there is Ensilo Trend MG network, and all of these tools are going to annotate the text, the scientific publication, and in the repository, and then disseminate them to the search engine to be accessible. When these articles are accessible online, there is of course some tools that can check for the quality of the article, not only, as I said, by citation count, but by using scores like cite.ai do. Like, for example, you have the text in which there is the citation of the article, and there is a little box saying that this is a positive or negative citation. So this is how it can handle, those tools can handle, can generate the output of or measure the citation. And then the last one is the reuse of the article after checking for the quality of the article, if it's fitting the topic or of the research work of the author. There are some reference manager system like Mendeley, in which you can organize your bibliography, in which also you can share some articles with other researcher, and yeah, so this is the last step of the publication cycle. Those are, I think, the main one, the main tools that you can find in this field.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
That's actually some quite some number of tools actually on this
Mhm.
particular tech stack. So over to the next part, like what are the ethical concerns in terms of like algorithmic bias, transparency, and fairness and security? So like how it's being addressed whenever these kind of tools are being used for this purpose?
So actually, there is, I mean, in the AI field, there are some concerns about the fairness of the result, as you said. But the good news is that in the research data is very structured. It's annotated by expert, and when when the data is generated, actually is annotated by using taxonomy and ontology, which are already verified and checked. So I think there is minimal bias in the data of research. Also, transformers like Cybert or BioBert are trained on scientific article which are peer reviewed, so the information is very is valid and checked, and I think there is no lot of of bias like compared to the other field where we can train a model based on online data. But still there is a need to when surely when there is a concept drift, because I mean the scientific concepts are evolving over time. For sure we should check for this concept how they are evolving over time, and to check for their bias if there are opposite if the concept is opposite to another, or no, and check if this is an error or just an evolving over time.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So that covers all my questions for today, Ms. Maha. So thank you very much for explaining the whole cycle of how it's being used and the different tools which is available and the different challenges which is being faced by the different researchers in bringing up this AI or leveraging this AI in this particular space. So that's great information which you have actually explained. And
Thank you.
so once again, thanking you for joining this podcast, Ms. Maha. And yes, I wish you all the best for your future works.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure to have you as a host. Thank you.